Hi everybody, it's David Fleming here from the Toronto Realty blog, and welcome to this week's Pick 5. Now, I haven't done a specific area, a neighborhood on Pick 5 in quite some time. I think the last little while we've been focusing on certain price thresholds, certain types and styles of properties, and then of course getting in under a ceiling, which is always pretty difficult in this market. So this week I want to go back to where it all started and focus on a particular neighborhood, and I'll give you a hint as to what that neighborhood is. It's a Netflix show. Anyone? Anyone? If you guessed it, very good. It is Riverdale. Now the show sucks, okay? And I'm not one of those people that says, oh, I read the book. You know those people? You went and go see that movie on Saturday night, they go, the book was way better. No, I never read the comic book. I think maybe a handful of times while I was waiting to get my hair cut at Leo's in Sunnybrook Plaza in the 1980s. But the show itself, it just didn't really do it for me. And for my wife, who tells us what we're watching on Netflix, like every good woman, behind or in front of a good man. So yes, we got, I think, 5 or 6 episodes in, and the only reason we made it that far is because you're kind of pot committed. You're like, I want to know who killed Jason already. But it just didn't do it for us. I don't know, the characters, and then like the whole Luke Perry thing. I mean, Luke Perry, look how old he is. That's so sad. Luke was Dylan on 90210, and I watched that show when I was younger, and it just reminds me that that's going to happen to me too. There's an app for that, right? To see what you can look like at 50. Anyways, I did watch it, and that's because a buddy of mine were watching, he was watching with his wife, and we just kind of texted back and forth, who do you prefer, Betty or Veronica? I know that that's a sexist thing to say in 2017, because everything anyone says is sexist and is taken the wrong way, and everyone's offended by everything. But imagine the days when you could actually just look at two humans and say to your friend, hey, who do you like more? I'm privy to brunettes, because my wife is brunette. Don't tell her this. I kind of like Betty a little bit more. Anyway, what can I say? I always wanted to meet someone to take home to mom, and that's what Betty did in that show. Cool. You can read about this and more in my new book, Things That Are Going to Get Me Into Trouble with My Wife, by David Fleming. Okay, so Netflix aside, let's go into Pick 5 this week. We're going to check out 5 houses from the low end all the way to the high end. And the interesting point is, 2 points. Number 1, how high the high end has gotten in Riverdale. And number 2, how high the low end has gotten as well. So where is Riverdale? For those of you that have been, living in a cave on Mars with your hands over your eyes and your fingers in your ears. That's a line from The Simpsons. Riverdale, guys, is just south of the Danforth on the east side. So Riverdale hits on all 4 of the marks that I always refer to when I'm looking for a freehold house. Let's order these up, please. Okay, number 1, or they shouldn't really be in any particular order, but we will say number 1, access to transit, okay? And we, of course, in Toronto, with the worst transit system in the world, where they're about to close down King Street to cars so that streetcars can move faster instead of building a subway under King Street, which would be the first idea anyone thinks of, or secondly, getting rid of streetcars because they're archaic and nobody actually has them in world-class cities, and maybe putting buses instead. Right, my point was, there's the Danforth subway line. There's also a Broadview car that goes south. There's Gerrard, there's Dundas. There's a lot of great transit. Number 2, parks. You have Withrow Park here, which Google is not coloring green, and it's really bothering me. In Withrow Park, you have, you have old people doing Tai Chi. I always start with that. You have a farmer's market on the weekend. You have tennis court, you have skating rink, you have soccer field. There is so much there. And then you also have Riverdale Park East, which is when you're going down the Don Valley Parkway and you see people tobogganing, and you're a kid, and just really getting into a flashback here, maybe 85, 86, and you're like, Mom, where's that? She goes, you know what? I think the Leaside Hill is good enough for you. True story. But this is like one of the best tobogganing spots in Toronto. Riverdale Farms on the other side of Bayview. And then you've got number 3, the retail infrastructure, okay? All the way across Danforth. This is where you have all of your shops, all of your restaurants, your coffee places, your little market to go and get groceries. And last but not least, number 4, you have your schools. You have your schools, which are exceptional. You have number 1, Withrow, which is the French immersion school, and number 2, you have PAPE. And just for those of you that don't know the rankings, let me pull this out here. So this is interesting. It's actually kind of flip-flopped. Withrow ranks an 8.3 out of 10, which is 157th out of 2,900 schools in Ontario. 157th, that's pretty good. PAPE ranks a 9.1 out of 10 in the Fraser Institute rankings, and that is 47th out of 2,900. So it used to be flip-flopped. And I guess the takeaway from that is don't buy a house based on the school rankings necessarily, because people who have their kids in PAPE, and I was doing Pick 5s in 2013 when those rankings were flip-flopped, people would say PAPE's a phenomenal school. You have no idea. If you're really holding out because you wanted to get into the Withrow district, I mean, yes, it has the French immersion, but now you can see they flip-flop. One's a 9.1 and one's an 8.3. And all the folks that have their kids at PAPE are laughing. Anyway, so those are the four things. Let me get that up there again. So number one, you have TTC access and transit. Number two, you have parks. Number three, you have retail infrastructure. And number four, you have schools. And they might actually be in a different order, but that's in the order that I said them. Okay, so that's Riverdale. This is very quickly going to become the longest Pick 5 ever. And as you can see now, it is actually a Pick 6. I'm sorry, I'll go through them quickly. Okay, so prices from $978 to $1,979. It's really, really difficult to get into Riverdale under $1 million. Last time I sold a house that was a 3-bed was, God, was that last year? I think it was. I think it was last spring. We sold it for $980 with a bully offer. And I said to my clients, this is the last time I'll ever sell a 3-bedroom in Riverdale under $1 million. And now, as you can see, you have 2 bedrooms starting at $978. Now this house at 149 Simpson is a very cool house. First and foremost, it's beautiful. If you like architecture, this is a Victorian. This is, if I had to guess, I'd say 1880s. You can see here, MLS just has a 100 plus. They really don't break it down into whether it's 110, 120, or 130 years old, but it's absolutely gorgeous from the outside. The width, 13.75, not huge, 100 feet deep, and it does have parking. So I'll show you where this is on the map. And the one knock with this house, guys, other than obviously being 2-bedroom and narrow, but you know what you're getting there, is that Simpson is the first street north of Girard. So we'll zoom out here, and you can see in Riverdale, obviously you're going to want to be up here, and we're going to do a house on Wolfrey and a house on Garnock. But right down here, it's quite a walk if you're going from Logan. Sorry for all the zooming, guys. If you're walking all the way up Logan to get to Chester, that's a schlep, okay? And my brother did it for quite some time. My brother and his family lived on Riverdale in Riverdale, which is always cool. I did that last week, right? My clients that bought in Witchwood, on Witchwood, right? So, you know, it was like a solid 15-minute walk up to Chester. And I think my brother went all the way up to Finch. But regardless, this is just north of Girard, which means that it's far from the TTC and from Danforth. But it's also, guys, on the south side, which means it backs onto Girard. Now, luckily here you've got houses, whereas if you were backing onto, say, stuff down here, I mean, now you've got, you know, commercial buildings and such. In any event, for what it is, it's fantastic, and it's well priced because, sorry to say, you want to get into Riverdale now, it's very difficult under $1 million. One might say impossible, unless you're sacrificing on something in here that happens to be the 3rd bedroom. So 2 beds plus a den in the basement, well, 3rd bedroom per se, 2 baths, beautiful. Kitchen could use a little bit of remodeling, I guess you could say. It is a galley kitchen because you're only 14 feet wide. Really nice deck, great backyard. As I said, it's lane parking. You've got a carport, which is behind here, 1 car parking. It's updated mechanically, forced air, gas. It has central air conditioning. There's the bedroom and the bathroom, 4-piece upstairs, a 2-piece in the basement. So remember, this doesn't have downstairs the extra 4-piece where sometimes husband and wife shower at the same time in the morning and they each have their own bathroom. So that's a basement, very good ceiling height for a Victorian, I must say. That's the one part of the finished basement. And you've got your laundry, and that's your carport. So there you go. So $978 offers any time, which of course is the new theme in Riverdale. I definitely, if it were me, would have done the same thing there with $978 offers any time. I don't know that for this house you're pricing at $779 and, you know, getting 8 to 10 offers. We're not doing that anymore, and this might have been the exception to the rule when everyone was doing that. So there you go, $978 entry level to Riverdale. Not a bad little house. Okay, moving along here, guys. We're going to take a look at 18 Riverdale. So 18 Riverdale, as far as the map goes, you are a stone's throw from Broadview, which is great if you're taking the TTC South, which is great if you prefer Riverdale Park. And then there's a little place in the corner here, Rooster Coffee House. Been there a couple of times. So as far as it's concerned in Riverdale, right, you're still, you know, you're not too bad a walk up to the Broadview TTC. And here's the big Loblaws, right? And there's a Tim Hortons on the corner. So it's walking distance up there to Loblaws, which is nice, coming home with groceries. And then let's zoom in here to the school. Where are we here? It's right around the corner from Withrow, which is awesome if you're walking your kids to school or if, well, they're walking home from school. So the property itself is a semi 2.5 story, really deep lot, 146 feet, 4-bed plus 1 3-bath, no parking, which is tough at $1,098,000, holding back offers. Family room, which is rare, off the main level, basement finished with a walkout, and let's take a look at the photos. So inside, very nicely updated, obviously nicely staged. I know it's silly to talk about pot lights, but when you see pot lights, you know that they've redone wiring for the most part. And when you see the little ones, you know that they were done recently as opposed to the big ones, which were done in the 80s and 90s. Just a little tidbit there when you're looking at photos from this far away and trying to gauge when the renovation was done. So decent size. It's got the side staircase, which a lot of people don't like. Kind of splits the, boy, this reminds me of my brother's house. Lost my train of thought. Kind of splits the house in two. But we see that a lot in houses we've done in Pick 5 before. See this back here, guys? That's the main floor family room. And I think that's really, really going to help the sale price of this one right here. Because that's a very, very rare room to have off of a house on this street. So master bedroom, you've got the deck up top. Double sinks, very nice. Second bed's pretty good. Third bed. Downstairs, bulkhead or beam. No, that's bulkhead. Maybe and a beam. They might have just, instead of doing two of them, spread it out, but they've staged this the right way. Put the TV under where the bulkhead is, and then put the couch where you have the highest ceiling height. And there's your fifth bedroom. Okay, nice little backyard. Okay, and no parking. That's the tough part. So what do we think this is going to sell for? And this is the fun part. Gee, I really wish I had a comp for 18 Riverdale. Boom, 16 Riverdale. When did this sell? Oh, last week. So I don't know if the sellers here timed this, but they must have. They must have been talking, because this one sold on the 5th of June, and this one came out, well, it doesn't say, but it's been on the market 0 days. It just came out today, which is Wednesday. No, today's Tuesday. I'm filming this early. So 16 Riverdale didn't have the 4th bedroom, but did have, 16 Riverdale, yes, did not have the 4th bedroom, but had the extra bathroom. Does not have the main floor extension. So let's take a look at it. And it's got the same side staircase, pretty much the same layout, a little more modern, different feel to it. Doesn't have, yeah, very different feel. I actually prefer 18 Riverdale. This is a little too contemporary, I think, as they say, for me. And so there, they've kind of extended the kitchen off the back. Anyways, you get the idea. So we're going back to this one. So that's $1,350,000, listed at $1,049,000. Here we've got $1,098,000. It's probably going to end up somewhere in the same range. It's listed 50 grand higher. Doesn't mean it's going to get 50 grand more. In my mind, it probably should, because it has that family room. So you get up to 1.4. You're really pushing into kind of that middle ground of Riverdale real estate, which we're going to continue as we move along here to look at. Goes up to $2 million. There's a house on Howland right now for 2.8, and the agent that's watching this watches my Pick 5 sometimes, probably saying, why the hell didn't you feature my property? Well, you know what? I wanted to just kind of narrow the range a little bit. So this one, I think, value-wise, 1.4. Will they get 300,000 over asking in this market? Remains to be seen. Both Riverdales were listed by top Riverdale agents, do a lot of business, have a good brand name. So it's not like when you get some, can I name a brokerage? I'm not going to pick on anyone today. You get like ABC Realty with some guy from Ajax listing it. He does a really crappy job. He's got no brand value. And those of you that hire the discount agents, you're saying, I don't believe in that. I'm telling you, it exists. When you have top agents that list properties, the buyer agents, they bring their A game, right? There's no nickel and diming. And they know that those people mean business. There is a brand value. So both of these Riverdale houses were listed by 2 different agents with tremendous brand value. And I think maybe 18 Riverdale does, in fact, go to the price that it should based on comparable sales. Okay, we got to fly here, guys. Okay, 118 Wolfrey. So I included this one here because it's been on the market for 26 days. It's listed at $1,099,000, and it's sitting. And that's very rare. Now, why is it sitting? Let's look at where 118 Wolfrey is. Wow, fantastic street, right? We are what? 2 streets south of Carrot Commons? I'm not going to be ready to live in like a family area. I'm going to make fun of everything because I'm so old and jaded. Okay, close to Carrot Commons and 2 blocks from Danforth. And then if you do want to send your kids to Franklin, it's right here. Franklin's also a very good school. Let me just pull this up here. You can see what I'm doing here. Franklin is a 7.1. Wow, that's crazy. They must have had one really dumb kid in the class, because I remember doing this a couple years ago, and Franklin was like a 9.6, and it was like one of the top 30 schools. Now it's a 7.1. I don't know. Maybe one kid just scribbled on his test. Anyways, like I said, the school rankings are important. but you also need to go and look at the facilities. You need to look into things like after-4 programs. I'm saying this, I don't have kids. I just really focus on public education, which I think is terrible because they've tried to make everyone equal. And on play day, when we used to run and, run a race and you get first, second, and third place, the fastest kid got first. Now they don't do that anymore because they don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. So you ran fastest and you were in first place. Guess what? Shut up, because you're going to make all the other kids feel bad. And that's the public school system. I could go on. I don't get it. You know how hard I worked in school? I went to the provincials for the science fair in '88. It was the highlight of my public school career. I'm so off topic, it's insane. What the hell were we talking about? Okay, so Wolfrey's in Franklin School District. Now the interesting part about this house, guys, is that it's on a 21 by 53 foot lot, a sliver of land. That's why it's not selling. And they did the right thing by listing at $1,099,000 and letting it sit on the market where it's been for 26 days. Things like this, you don't want to take this and list it at $879,900 and hold back offers, because this is not the house for everybody. It has no parking and it's on a 52-foot lot. But it's an incredible location. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath. And on the inside, it's actually really nice. It's very nicely upgraded. 21 feet. Remember, semi-detached 21 feet. When we started this, we were at 13.75 feet on Simpson. So it's large enough that you can have the kitchen on one side, the dining on the other, whereas the other houses we saw have the galley kitchens. So this house isn't for everybody, but it will sell, and it will sell for over $1 million. Someone's probably going to offer $1 million, go back and forth, settle at $1,025,000, $1,030,000, be a good price for the buyer. The sellers on this, another big name agent, doesn't really work in the area very often, but I mean, who knows? Maybe they just stick it out, and maybe they pull their weight. And I hate clawfoot tubs. Anyways, and get closer to $1,099,000, $1,070,000, $1,080,000. So there's the basement, fully finished, brick wall, painted white. And there's your backyard. Very, very small sliver of land, as I said. Okay, I got 3 more here, guys, so I got to fly. 185 Riverdale. This one's really interesting. Okay, 185 Riverdale, $1,499,000, 3-bed, 4-bath, not holding back offers, and it's been on the market for 7 days. Now, I want to show you 3 comparable sales. The first one is 185 Riverdale, back when this thing was a dilapidated piece of crap. Zoom in here. Prime Riverdale, solid brick semi, walkout from basement to yard. Great potential. Attention all contractors. Kind of a run-on sentence. Builders and renovators. Home being sold as is, where is. New roof. Done in October 2015. Okay, so it's a gut. Look, utilities on. Are there photos? Oh, wow. Hey. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Right. Uh-huh. Good. I probably would have listed this with no photos. Okay, so the next listing we're going to look at is, wow, 185 Riverdale. That looks like fake grass superimposed. So this was listed for $1,199,000. Where are we here? Where's the contract date? Right, $1,199,000. So that's where they first listed it, holding back offers, didn't get what they wanted. Then they listed it at $1,499,000, offers any time, 18 days in the market, right? So now they said, hey, you know what's not working? $1,499,000. We're going to terminate that after 18 days and relist. Oops, that killed my thunder. That killed my thunder. Boom, $1,499,000. So the same price. So it's only a 3-bed, and this is where things get tough, because in Riverdale, people want that 4th bedroom. If you're going to pay $1,500,000 for a house, you want to either have room for your 3rd kid. Who's having 3 kids these days? A lot of people in Riverdale. Room for the 3rd kid, room for the nanny, room for the grandparents when they stay, and it's only a 2-story. So only a 2-story, only 3-bed, and that's what's holding this back. Otherwise, it's a beautiful house, and they've done a fantastic job. Seeing the before photos scares the crap out of me, because I always wonder about who's developing it. It's a little dark in here. They could have used some better light, but it's an absolutely unbelievable renovation. It's really, really nice. The house itself is just, oh, and they look at the spindles. That's kind of like my style. Yeah, oh, and the wainscoting. I really like this. I hate glass railings. It's so modern, contemporary, as they say. I don't know what's going on here with this purple light. So there you go. Vaulted ceilings in the master. Bedroom number 2 they didn't stage. Bathroom, nice finishes. Deep basement. I'm not going to say deep dugout. All they did was just move all of the ducts and pipes and everything here so that it's all off to one side, as we saw with the second property I think we looked at. And there's the bathroom in the basement. Okay. And that's a hell of a lot better than it was before. So this is the part of Riverdale that slopes down, and that's why you can see that the backyard is not adjacent to the 2nd level. It's actually the basement. And I would actually prefer it if it was the backyard off the 2nd level. but people always advertise walk out from basement, which is great if you have a basement apartment. Okay, so let's move on from this. Sitting on the market, I want to show you, oops. Oh, I was actually looking at the old photos. No, that was the comp, right? Guys, I'm going crazy. Here's the actual house itself. Okay, yeah, so same photos. Okay, so we'll move on from that one because I want to move on to this. 30 Strathcona. Now, this is where things get a bit weird in the market. It's listed at $1,499,000. I think this is worth 1.8. Could be worth 1.9. I don't know. But we'll go with 1.8 for now. This thing is unbelievable. This is a full 3-story, 4-bed plus 1 4-bath, right? You've got that extra bed, and it's an Edwardian. It's beautiful. Location, 30 Strathcona. Here we go. Steps to the park. Literally steps to the park. I've got a listing on Roxeter right now, which of course I'm not featuring because we're taking offers tonight, and also because, well, there are reasons, let's just say, regarding prices and how properties are sold. But this one is literally a block from my listing there. I know what it's like to walk from Roxeter here, where my client's house is, to the park. It's a 20-second walk. It's like minutes. And then how close are you to Pape? How close are you to the subway? So it's a fantastic location. And the house itself, beautiful. Totally redone, huge. It's a 19-foot wide semi, right? So again, we're getting away from those 13s and those 15s. We're getting into some really nice width here. So style might not be for everybody. Again, pretty contemporary. The galley kitchen, which everyone has, except that other house was on a 20-foot lot. They've thought of everything. They've got the back mudroom. They've even got a little window here above, right? Like just to let light in. It's just really, let me do this again. 1 window, 2 window, 3 windows. It's just a really well thought out reno. A window in the bathroom, exposed brick wall, and a mirror bouncing off the exposed brick wall, and a photographer who thought to take it. Everything in this listing is really, really nice. So there's your staircase. For some reason I have a photo. Nice little bay hexagonal window in the front there. Another window, check that out. Okay, so then upstairs on the top floor, this is where you've got your master. Now the master bedroom, and there is, I think, a 4-piece bath. Yep, a 4-piece bath up there to service it. There it is, that's a master bath, very nice. And there's your deck off the top, and your basement, great ceiling height, no bulkheads as you can see, and if they are, they're cleverly built in to the built-ins, the shelving. So there's your 1-car parking off the back. And what a listing. So you tell me I'm crazy at $1,800,000, $1,900,000, could be $1,700,000, or in this market, who knows, maybe, well, they'll probably relist it if they didn't get what they wanted. But phenomenal house, really, really nicely done, and 4-bed plus 1 4-bath. Takes it up to the next level. Okay, last but not least here, guys, actually not that far behind. We're looking at 12 Garnock. So where is 12 Garnock? I did mention it before. Garnock is 1 street south of Danforth. It's totally prime. And it's on the north side of the street, so you're backing onto what I think is the school. There's Franklin. I can't remember what this is, but in any event, if we're splitting hairs, you might rather be on the south side, but we're not going to split those hairs because it doesn't matter. So Garnock is, again, a semi. It's 3 stories. It's 19 by 101. It's a 4-bed, 4-bath. It's very similar to the one we just looked at, which is part of the reason why I think the one we just looked at has got to be $1,800,000. Are they holding back on Garnock? That's a crazy thing, is I think they are. No, they're not holding back on Garnock. Okay, so great. So now we kind of have a basis of comparison, right? So we've got Strathcona, which is a semi 3-story, steps from the park, 4-bed plus 1, 4-bath, $1,499,000 holding back on a 19 by 97. And here we've got a 19 by 101, 4-bed, doesn't have the plus, has the 4-bath, $1,979,000. I thought of that before we even kind of laid these out. It just kind of worked out that way. So different style, but again, same kind of galley kitchen, same kind of idea here. And I hate using the term galley kitchen, sounds terrible, but look, on a 19-foot lot, that's what you're going to get. And it's a beautiful house, double-door fridge. It's even got that grip on it, you know, like that brittle, like that grip right here. I'm going to highlight this. See this right here? That's like the same grip on a dumbbell, right? So whether you're getting ready for like a set of incline dumbbell presses for your chest, you're also opening the door to the fridge. Or not. Maybe it's not the same material. I don't know. I don't know if Good Life made this fridge. Okay. So let's keep going here. We've got, oh, this was interesting. See this? It says it has central air, but I noticed that it has this, what do you call them, Slim Jim units. So there's your master, built-in closets. This is on the 3rd floor. Very nice master bathroom. That's kind of my style. I kind of like that like whitish, grayish, light bluish. I'm really into that right now. Another bedroom. And this is, oh, what was this? This was the tandem. Yeah, see here, tandem 2nd, overlooks park. Very nice. And yeah, so that's the tandem right there. No, no. What? I got lost, guys. I think this is one of the bedrooms they made into a TV room, and then this is the tandem. That makes a lot more sense. Oh, it's been a long day. Okay, so there's the basement there. Again, notice they pushed everything over to the one side, so you've got the great ceiling height on this side. Just, whichever one of your friends is going to make drinks, tell them not to bump their head. Or just don't be friends with anybody that's over 6'2", just like me. And there's your powder room on the main floor. Very cool. So that's the rooftop. It does overlook the park, doesn't it? It does. It does overlook the park. Yeah, there you go. So that's one of the reasons why this is a $9,979,000. There's a good shot. They're showing you that there's a staircase leading from the basement to the backyard, and that is a very, very artistic shot. Wow, very cool. So that's it for this week, guys. That was good. Covered a lot of ground. Big price difference between starting at $978,000 and going up to basically $2 million. And as I've said, there are a handful of houses that have and could push $3 million. Mainly in, and let me go to the area here, mainly in this area here. So around here, Hogarth, I saw a couple of houses not too long ago. No, I was going to say not too long, maybe 3 years ago. There was one on, I want to say it was close to Franklin. I think it was on Garnock. No, it was off the park. Fenwick. That's what it was. It was this house right here. See this house right here? This came up a few years ago, and it was the first time it'd been up for 50, 70 years, whatever it was. It's a massive house, huge lot, right next to the park. Number 1 Fenwick. And it sold, and somebody did a number on it, and I would love to see what that house looks like. And if it came onto the market, who knows? Be $3.5 million. So yeah, Riverdale, love the area. I'm a little biased because my brother and his wife and his family live there, and I miss them dearly. So that's it for this week, guys. By the way, in case you're curious, over my shoulder here, I had 2 G.I. Joe men. There was one, and now there's a different one. So free $50 Home Depot gift card to whoever can email me and tell me which 2 G.I. Joe men were over my shoulder. And if you can tell me why I have G.I. Joe men, I'll give you $10,000 because many psychiatrists have tried to figure it out and have been unsuccessful. You know what it is? I'm in this 8x8 cell all day for like 12 hours. I got to do something fun to pass the time. Anyways, guys, that is truly, really it for this week. Have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you next week on Pick 5. Bye for now.